Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 58, baby. Me and Maurice are here bringing you some action, ready to go and rock and roll with the new KOTOR characters. I have them all leveled up and geared up, and we're going to go ahead and take them into battle and see what that's all about. But first and foremost, again, I'm joined by my co-host and esteemed colleague, good old Maurice. How you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing better now that I hear your voice. I feel good.
Thanks, man.
It's Sunday. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got some new characters. Not a lot of news. I'd say. Really, the main thing is the outcry about the Sith raid. So we'll get into that and kind of discuss our thoughts about the Night Sisters and all the hoopla that's going on around the nerfing or not nerfing and all that stuff. But uh, first, I'm going to just jump into a little battle here. We'll take a battle against the Sith here with this team that I'm working on right now with Rey Jedi Training and the new droid character T3. And actually do pretty well with this team. I don't think we'll be able to beat them, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. But while we do that, let's discuss some of these new characters. So, have you had a chance to try out, the new KOTOR characters? Maurice. Maurice, you're muted, man. I can't hear you. Technical
How about now?
difficulties. Yeah, I can hear you now.
This is what happens when you give me high tech stuff. I think I haven't tested them out too much, just like Galactic War. I'm trying to get my turn order correct, but I think Zalbar and Mission are awesome. Zalbar by himself, we'll see at the end of the day. But I mean, on paper, he looks to be one of the better tanks, if not, 1A or 1B behind Kenobi on the light side. He's something else, man. He is really, really good.
Yeah, Zalbar looks to be really good. Actually, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I don't know. I really I think most of the game changers have had the same problem that I've had, and that's really kind of figuring out where they fit. I'm really trying out like a whole bunch of different squads. I mean, obviously, T3 works pretty well with droids. I think that was pretty much a no-brainer. But I'm saying as far as Mission Vow and Big Z, I really don't know where they're best going to kind of rock it. Do you have any thoughts so far on like where you think they'll be the able to kind of fit in a role, or do you think that they're never really going to fit into any team that's meta? At
Well,
this
I mean,
point?
they're. It's funny they're being released with Bastila, and in certain scenarios, especially Mission, if you can get her assisting and do, I mean, she's got so much stacking potency, she could kind of combat that tenacity, at least on paper. I mean, like I said, I have gear 6 or 7 Mission at 3 star, but I don't know, I don't really know what place they have right now specifically, but that you can make an awesome scoundrel team if you kind of mix and match these last batch of characters we've had. These 3 characters are. I think the droid's a scoundrel. I'll have to look, but I know Mission and Zalbar are. Put them under Akira lead, and you've got a whole bunch of crit chance. You got a whole lot of dots going around. Pairs real nice with Wampa. I mean, you can build a great TW offense team with these characters at 3 star. Mine weren't quite ready for this one that ended today, but next time they'll be at least semi battle ready, and I'm gonna see what I can take on with them.
Yeah, I mean, I get pretty close here. I mean, this is a pretty tough Sith team, and I mean, with this squad, I mean, if I could get a couple exposes here, it'd be nice. But I think we're gonna get wiped out by Nihilus here in a moment. But I mean, this is pretty much about as close as I get every time. I mean, I get to the point where it's like, okay, it looks like things are swinging in our favor, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang in your face. It's over. There's just not enough damage. Oh, yeah. Obviously, taking out BB-8 is It's definitely rough for us. Let me smoke screen her. Let's see what I can do here. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much my feelings on the characters so far. Is like there's just I don't know where to put them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they're missing something. Oh, I think we might be able to take out Nihilus here. No.
Well, they put out Warriors video. He showed like this little yellow text. I'm not sure if it came directly from the devs or whatnot, but basically it was the mission of this T3 character. And one of the one of these and one of the comments on it, one of the bullet points was to basically have a more offensive oriented version of R2 where you could still leave R2 on your Ray team, but still basically a second slightly different R2, right? Because I don't know, putting both of them together is almost too much support. You're relying totally on BB-8 to spread Illuminated Destiny and Ray for offense. You don't have much else at all. I mean, T3 does awful damage. The tank to L3. Excuse me, I'm gonna get those mixed up all the time. L3 and T3.
So many droids now. So many droids.
Yeah.
Oh, draw. But that was close. I mean, listen, there is maybe better mods on Ray Jedi Training's team, and I think I beat that Sith team.
Well, if you could come down to a draw, and not get demolished, I mean that's a good sign. Like you just said, mods, maybe just a little more practice with the team in general. I mean, these are new characters, right? I mean, it takes, especially with these new complicated kits, it's not the same game it was a year, 2 years ago, where it's just plug them in and hit the abilities. Now all these abilities have passive uniques and spreads this to stack this. There's a lot of mechanics now in the game that you just got to practice with.
Thank you to DSP for the donation. Really appreciate that. He wants to see Zader, Mission, Big Z, Wampa, and Grandmaster Yoda versus JTR. Okay. We don't have a JTR squad up here right now. I can do that for you in a moment, but I want to talk a little bit about the whole controversy with the raid and the nerfing of the Night Sister Acolyte situation. So, what are your thoughts about it? I mean, do you think that they're correct in fixing it or not? I mean, I'll tell you what my thoughts are in a minute, but I just want to kind of hear what you're thinking. I'm going to get my device over here so I can switch up the teams and I can get the Ray Jedi Training team in there. What's going on? Takedown Games. What's up?
I'm not. I'm not exactly sure what they've done. To be honest, I've been pretty busy this weekend, but I mean, is it the characters themselves get nerfed, or was it the mechanic of the bonds? If they fix the bonds themselves, I feel like that's okay. If they're nerfing characters this late into the Sith raid, that's a little eh. When the Sith raid first came out, they nerfed Stormtrooper Han, this whole big list of characters. Yes, it was unfortunate, but really it wasn't too bad because it was still a new raid. You really hadn't had time to really just take these characters from scratch all the way up. But these Night Sisters now, I mean, the raid's been out for months, and people have been farming these Night Sisters. I mean, these are hard nodes, Talzin and Zombie. These take a long, long time to get these characters. Not to mention, I'm sure people were buying maybe out of the shipments as well to get these characters ready for this Sith raid. It's a little late because I mean I guarantee every guild that has completed the Sith triumphant raid, at least I bet at least 15 members in that guild didn't have Night Sisters prior to its release, and they farmed them specifically for P4 and all these teams. So I mean I don't know. I'm trying to find the post here now exactly what they did.
Didn't they? Aren't they also going to give everybody back the Zetas for DACA, and then kind of let you decide again whether you want to reapply the Zeta to DACA or not? That's what I heard.
That's what I've heard. That's what I'm trying to look to see if there's any sort of like official confirmation on that. That is fair because DACA's. I put DACA's Zeta on immediately. I built the Night Sisters up real early, so really My Night Sisters were done before the raid, so I don't really have a I don't really have a fight to pick because I already had them. It's not but I did put Dakas on, and I'll tell you, I never found it useful at all until the Sith raid. So I'm sure most of the people that have Daka Zeta, I bet 75% plus put it on specifically for the raid scores, and I think that's fair. If they do that, that would be that's fair. I don't know about Asajj because you can't really give back Asajj. She's such a great character. Same with Towson's Unique. I mean, those Zetas, if they gave them back, great. I'd tell you what, I'd put it right back. I'd put them right back on.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's still a value to the Night Sisters even after the nerf. And I'll tell you what my thoughts are on the whole thing in a moment. As soon as I get this, let me see. Is there a... Yeah, Old Republic. There we go. All right. I think that it's justified, and I think that there's good reason to nerf it, and I think they've said in the past that if there's ever a situation where it's a constant loop and it's something that is kind of unintended, kind of a mistake or I guess you could call it like a glitch that somebody discovers in the game, then they're going to correct that. And I think that that's kind of what they're doing here. I don't think it's like a team that is just like working well, and because of the fact that people figured out this awesome team, that they're nerfing it. I think if there was any skill involved to it and they were nerfing it, then I would say it's wrong. But because it's basically just as long as you have the characters, you can literally just put it on auto, and that's it. I think that's why they're doing it. It's just like one of those things where it's just going to be like a it's just literally going to be a situation where everybody's just going to wait to get their 7-star Traya, and then when they do, they're just going to do that for damage. Now, there's another side to this, and that's where I'm going to get a little bit. If you want to hear a rant, this will be my rant here for the day. Even though I'm not going to give you another crazy rant like last week, what I'm going to say is that I think, oh man, my rant is that I think that their focus should be on other things. That's what I've said from the beginning about this. Is that why this raid is now half a year old. I mean,
God, has it been 6 months already?
I mean, it feels like it at least, right? I mean, how long has it been?
Let me look for the actual date. It's probably been close, man. It's been a long time.
All I'm saying is it's not a brand new raid. Okay, it's been out for a little while now. There's already teams that can do pretty well. Like even if you can't solo a whole phase, there's teams that can do pretty well against it. I would be more focused on trying to put out a new team, a new raid, than focus on, tinkering with this one. I mean, if you want the raids to get harder, then just make a harder raid, and kind of put it together with a level cap increase, or something like that. Make it a harder raid and tie it together with level 90, and do that for like the end of the year. And that's what I would be focusing on. I mean, obviously, they can't just allow the loop to continue. DSP, I'm going to try that team out again one more time. I don't know. I just got destroyed there. I don't know if it was me or that team. I tried this too. I'll tell you the truth. After looking at the kits for Mission Vow and Big Z, I thought to myself, damage over time team. That's all I thought. I mean, I was thinking to myself, like, I even threw in Darth Sidious into that squad to make it like 3 characters that stick dots on there. So I had Zader lead with Wampa, Darth Sidious, and Mission Vow and Big Z, and that team was horrible.
Well, any sort of dot team is going to be PvE content. There's just too much. I mean, you can't use it versus Traya, period. Every time they go, they just dispel all the dots.
I can't even use it against JTR.
Yeah, I mean, it's PvE. Like, the people that are running these auto teams for the old content, like the tank, it just got a lot easier. Like, you run Vader, Wampa, these 2 characters, Mission and Z. I mean, it just got a lot easier
Bear
to
in mind,
do.
bear
You
in
have
mind this.
so many dots.
Bear in mind, this is a very meta JTR team. I mean, the speeds on this team are ridiculous. This is Skycrack's JTR team here. I mean, Ray. I think BB-8 has 150 speed. Uh, yeah, we're just getting destroyed by this team. I'll try this squad against the droids and see how we do. But yeah, I mean this doesn't look like it's going to fare well against this squad. They were getting destroyed. I don't think any kind of mods or anything I do is going to fix that. But going back to what we were talking about, I feel like, yes, obviously the loop they have to fix. They have to adjust that. They can't just allow an infinite loop of raid damage. But I do also think that the main focus again should be on upcoming content and not the current content. I think that's again they're going to fix that loop, but I think that they should have allowed the Night Sister squad to continue to work as it did in P4 and still be effective. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't think that they should have. I think they should have figured out a way to do it where it didn't nerf a team that was put together that actually involves skill, which is that Night Sister team. Because I mean, you can put that team out there without the correct mods and without the correct gameplay and get nothing. If you don't know what you're doing. So I don't think they should have nerfed that.
Well, it's just that they had an opportunity to do so. Yeah. When they nerfed that big group of characters like Stormtrooper Han, some of the other characters that I really didn't even realize were bugged. They missed fives. They went back and got him. Asajj kind of falls into the same category. Arguably creating, kind of a loop in a sense with all the, the health still, like, the bonds suck the health down. They all have high health still. You heal them up. They get to go again. It was fringe on that same type of ground as well, and they should have done it then if they wanted to do something about it. Because then, like I said earlier, no one would have spent all their resources for months investing in this team. They may not have had it all, because Night Sisters were so terrible for so long, and all the YouTubers. I mean, we said on the stream. I bet if you go back to some of the first shows we did, I mean, that's before the Night Sisters came out, and they were terrible. We never would have suggested to farm Night Sister, Acolyte, and Talia and all that, because they were awful characters. And so, I don't know.
It seems like the theme for you is just like it's a little bit way past the time to worry about it. Yeah. No, I agree.
Like now, if anybody saw the video, it was a well done video, great team. But the team with Traya, where they put up like 48 million. If anybody saw that video and instantly went and started investing in these characters, they haven't played this game for very long. Because I mean, like you mentioned it that multiple times, anything that creates an endless loop is not working as intended. And that was clear. I watched that video again. It's a great video. But I looked at it and said, there's no way this lasts a week. Like, I think it was McMole that put out the 5 video because they almost missed, they did that big nerf and they missed 5. And there was still like an area in P4 when you got the Traya that you could use 5s. Very similar to, some of the other characters, like Stormtrooper Han created a loop and you could just destroy Traya with the clones. And, they got that too. I don't know. You want to share and help the community with all these great teams. Like if you theorycraft a great team and you put up good numbers, you want to share it, but it's at the same time, remember Newt Gunray and the tank? Like somebody shared that and it instantly, like you share it with it could get nerfed. It's just like I don't know. It's almost like you want to keep stuff to yourself now. It's like, well, shh.
No matter what, though, people are going to figure it out. Listen, what it took was a 7-star Traya, and not everybody has that, obviously, but there are people starting to get there, and that was only a matter of time before somebody figured out that using Traya in the raid was going to be kind of a key to putting together some OP squads. But I mean, either way, I think that no matter what, I mean, if you went out there right away after seeing that video, and you thought to yourself, okay, now I'm going to invest in all these characters because when I have a 7-star Traya, I'm going to do this, then I don't know. I think that was probably a bad move, and you probably deserve to lose your materials.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I
about
mean?
that.
No, I'm kidding. But I'm saying, like, in all honesty, I think what they're doing as far as giving you back the pieces so you can decide for yourself if you want to, re-Zeta DACA, for that squad or not is an honorable thing to do. I mean, I got to tell you, there's other games out there that people play, that are very like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes in a lot of ways, and there's no communication like this whatsoever. It's almost like, um, I mean, we have it pretty good here. Me and Maurice were actually talking about this before the stream. Is like you'd be surprised like how little communication there is with the developers and the community in some other games. In Galaxy of Heroes, they are very on top of it. I mean, you don't realize how spoiled we are sometimes because of the fact that, yeah, we complain and sometimes we're not happy about the way things are going and wish things were a little bit different. But for the most part, I mean, they're very fair, and there's a lot of things you can do in this game without spending a nickel. And
You can do everything without spending a nickel.
you
You
can
just have to
play
spend lots and lots of time.
right,
You know.
right. You could accomplish anything in this game without spending a nickel. And on top of that, there's uh, this like care to like make people that don't spend money on this game happy. I mean, they go out of their way to make free to play players happy. Unlike anywhere else. I mean, there's other games out there, all they care about is the money. All they care about is the money. That's it. And I mean, obviously they have to care about the money because otherwise the game wouldn't be able to exist. I mean, we wouldn't be able to have the servers on if they weren't making money off the game. But there's but they have to. But the thing is that they do care about the player base in this game, and
You have to also have to think that yes, I mean we stream this game, we love this game, we have people in here watching us talk about the game. This is a very, very, very small percentage of people that play the game that utilize YouTube, utilize Twitch to actually research the game and try to improve. I guarantee most of the players that play this game are semi-casual. They don't even know half these things we get upset about even happened, even exist. Like, they just don't know because they just, hop on, take a 5-minute break, do their dailies, do a couple of arena battles. That's it for the day. Like, they're not, I don't know. They even the people that don't spend money. I mean, there's been people in and out of our guild, like they're not A+ players. They got huge, they spend tons of money and they just hop on, do their 600s and, do a couple of TB battles and that's it. They're collectors and I don't know. There's stuff I bring up in the guild sometimes and, talk to a couple of guys and they don't even know, they didn't even know the Night Sisters were bugged. They didn't even know they got fixed. Like they never even knew Stormtrooper Han trick even existed. Just like I don't know. Not everyone is in touch with this game as
no.
As everyone.
I mean, they released a whole tutorial, and they're changing the way mods work entirely, because there's people out there that don't even use mods. There's people literally don't have mods. I mean, for us to talk about that, people that are watching this video and people that are on Discord talking about SWGOH, to even think about the fact that you don't have mods on your arena team is freaking nuts, right? I mean, just it's nuts, right? But there are people out there that just play this game for fun, and I bet you a large majority of the players don't even touch mods because they don't want to think about it. They don't know what they mean. They don't know how they work, and rather than sit there and spend their time thinking about it, they're just gonna play without them, and because of that reason, they're trying to figure out a way to simplify it. I was actually at a point where I was getting a little bit bored with a lot of things in the game, I've actually been reinvigorated lately. I mean, the last few months, I've loved the game, and I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten back into playing arena again. I'm back in the top. I'm back in the top 5 every day in arena. I'm playing the game again with care. My guild is playing a little bit more competitively now, and we're working back towards doing that, and we're just having fun. That's the main thing. It's like, you got to enjoy the game, no matter how competitively you play it, or it's a game. It's for fun. You know what I mean? And I'm enjoying all the new stuff that's coming, and I'm looking forward to things that are coming in the future. I mean, from what I know, obviously it looks like they're kind of paving the way for certain things to be coming down the road. And I'm excited. I mean, I can't wait for Darth Revan whenever that comes. If that's kind of what they're setting up for here, or we'll see.
Well, you said Revan, and it's almost they almost have to have now some because like, we have this new Old Republic tag, but none of these characters really benefit from it, and there's no Old Republic lead, right? So a Revan or any sort of character, there's a whole lot of characters in that game that haven't even touched
Oh,
yet. I mean,
he better have like a Sith and a Jedi synergy too. He better not just be like Old Republic.
well,
Yeah,
no, but
yeah,
Old
yeah,
Republic needs a lead. They need
yeah.
a Old Republic leader. These characters are very, very good, and you're using it under, Kira now, which is she's a lot better than I originally gave her credit for. I've been using her this week. I just on a whim just put a wasted a Zeta on her because I really like her. It's not the team that I like, that Han Solo movie team, but just a grab bag like you're using Nest and Zalbar and Mission and L3 here. I mean, it even brings some utility to some old characters. Like you could throw Lando in behind Kira now, and he gets a whole bunch of crit chance, a whole bunch of crit damage in certain scenarios. And she has an AOE stagger, so she could lead out AOE stagger, and you have Lando right behind her dropping an AOE, and all of a sudden you've sucked all the turn meter out from the entire team, and it's a lot of interesting pieces there. The scoundrels now, but just like mixed match, scoundrel factions, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely missing something. I mean, this team's not gonna. But again, not every team has to be meta, right? I mean, not every team has to beat the Sith. So,
Well, I mean, there's only like in TW, there's only two, territories of Sith. If you can build just a scoundrel team out of characters you have, I mean, and and they can take out a first order team, or they can take out CLS, or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's at end game. That's not terrible. Obviously, you don't want to focus on it if you're a new player and you have a GP of 800,000. You don't want to be focusing on really any of these characters we see on the screen except for Nest. You should definitely get her. Even a 3-star, but the rest of them are just kind of in-game characters. And we'll see what they do with these two factions, the Old Republic and the, I guess, the Han movie characters, like what we'll need them for. We'll see. I think these Old Republic characters will probably be any sort of Revan, Malik, any sort of legendary event. Maybe the other ones, maybe a future TB team, something like that. They'll be required for something because it is a full faction.
right. By the way, if you guys have any requests, I think we have a few requests in the chat here, so I'll go back through those in a few minutes here. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, again, want to give a shout out to Charlie C for helping me create and set up the Discord for my YouTube channel. There's tons of great people on there already, and I'm going to be doing some more interactive stuff there over the next couple weeks, possibly setting up some things for the live show where I can, maybe be a little bit more interactive with the people on Discord after the show and during the show. We're working that out now, but definitely join, and you'll get notifications whenever I'm live or post a new video. And there's just a great community of players on there too, so check that out. But just going back to what you're saying here, I think that I think that there's definitely a need for a Knights of the Old Republic or an Old Republic leader. And you're right. I mean, you don't need to have every team be able to beat the Sith. I mean, if you can figure out a way to beat JTR teams, you can figure out a way to beat a lot of like KRU teams. I mean, a lot of people still put up walls of First Order. So I mean, if you can use any of these teams to beat that's a good win. That's a win too. I'd have to say.
Well, because what you do is like right now, the go-to counter for a strong crew team is a strong Finn lead team, and you put out a video earlier this week. If you can get Poe fast enough, you could beat Treya with resistance. So you build a little makeshift scoundrel team. You got a crew counter now, and you can use your resistance to counter Treya. Because that's the hardest defensive team, or the Treya leads, right? The Triumvirate, the Sith Trooper. We faced a guild that put Nest in there. That was a real pain in the butt. We just we just tucked our tails in and ran down, just switched lanes. Yeah. We ran into that zone. So I don't know. I think these characters are going to be useful to more veteran guilds. It's not. I don't. We'll see what we need in the future, but for now, like if you're a newer player, you guys haven't even beat the Sith raid yet. These aren't characters I think you really need to focus on. Maybe Zalbar. Zalbar's good. Just kind of an all around utility. And he's got synergy with mission, but doesn't necessarily mean you need to use them both all the time. Blind's cool. I'm interested to see how blind really works long term. Right now, unfortunately, it's the Treya meta. So any blind you put on the character, they're going to shed it off and just totally take away any usefulness it has. But opposing characters, they get blinded, they'll waste their special abilities and just whiff, as long as they can't be evaded. So that's something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like Scavenger Ray there, if she was blind, she just would have whiffed on that triple whammy. Just whiff. That's pretty important.
This Emphy's nest, just getting stuck here at the end with Emphy's nest is just ridiculous to sit here through 3 minutes of gameplay of just watching Emphy's nest get beat up. It's just crazy. I will try this Bastila team out. I think there's some more. And Cuzzo, I am actually laughing because of that comment you made about the merch on the Discord channel. That's hilarious. Yes, there'll be all sorts of Lord Skunk merch on the Discord channel. Yeah.
Send your pictures. Send your pictures of you wearing it.
Yes, you have to send pictures of you wearing it. If anybody has Team Skunk apparel, I'd love to see pictures of that. That was a long time ago.
B Mostu calling you out.
B Mostu definitely has like a Team Skunk hat and underwear. He definitely has the Team Skunk long johns.
Oh, a lot of people do.
Yeah. Team Money, what's going on? This is the special Friday stream I was talking about. We're starting it tonight. We're just going to go through straight till Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Nesty. Yeah, Nest is just getting. At least.
Come on, man. Just exit out of this. Come on. We get like.
I can't. There's nothing I can do. It's either that or shut down.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you never take a turn. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to exit out of it. I literally have no chance. So it's just you have to either sit down or restart the whole thing. And I don't feel like restarting the whole setup. So try an all droid team with L3. Okay, yes. Use basics. Okay. You want a keychain of Remont? You can have a keychain. We're going to create Ramon and Maurice keychains, where on one side it's just Ramon, on the other side it's Maurice. And, for everybody that buys a keychain, I'm going to get Capital Games to give a free Zeta to that person.
That's right.
Yeah.
We also have a special edition locket with a heart locket with one side Remon, one side be myself. You can open it up and look in.
And then there'll be a special place in the middle for you to put yourself.
Yeah.
And it could be like you're right in between me and Maurice, right in our hearts. Yes. Okay, so you want to try a droid team. I believe there was a request before that for a Bastila, Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra, Leia, Organa. Okay. All right. Never really thought of that one, but I'll try it out. What? Can you look through the chat and see if there's any other requests that I missed? I'm sure there's a bunch.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the questions, but I didn't do the best of job grabbing the DACA Zeta is refunded after Nerf Zombie. Good. Where am I going to put that Zeta? I don't know what I'm going to do with that DACA Zeta. Not put it back on DACA. That's for sure. Let's see. You did that one.
Well, Ben. We had Ezra on here as a request. Put Ezra on, and then the last one is Leia Organa. So that's Hoth Leia. Rolo.
J Bal's asking for the Kira and Nest duo versus Bastila.
Kira and Nest duo.
Yeah, apparently there was some released a video where you could just pretty much defeat Bastila teams with Kira and Nest only, just the two of them, which is silly. So
Really?
that should anybody that's got a 7-star Zeta Bastila, that'll really piss you off. It's just two characters, you know. Just go in there and wipe your whole brand new team out. You put 3-4 Zetas on, put all the Gear 12 stuff on, you know. That'll make you upset. But
Let's give it a shot. We'll try it out after this. I just
you want to you make sure those two are pretty modded pretty well. At least Nest.
see if we can take out the droids here. All right, now we're going to spread the buffs.
We got people from Germany in the chat. We got people from Costa Rica. Welcome.
What's going on from Germany, baby? I'm Swiss. You know, you guys are like right around the corner. Pretty much. Figuratively speaking. I've been to Germany before. Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I can take out. No, I should have went for 88. I just want to get rid of BB-8 because that, you know, that secret intel is the problem.
Gussie. Oh man.
Gussie has something interesting to say.
Yeah. We got somebody from Austria. Welcome, Clemens.
I think Gussie wants that merch.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, let me spread the buffs. Okay, so, you know, guys, we can, with Bastila, beat a droid team. So,
yes.
So, just so you know.
If Bastila was out a year and a half ago, this would be extremely helpful.
This would have been super awesome. I don't think that the reason I went against the droid team is because I don't think we'd beat any other team with this team. I think we'd lose to the other squad. But I gave it a shot for you, Medhi. Sorry, I lost your name here. Medhi.
Bastila's going to be good against almost
Hamuda.
everything besides Treya and Sith Trooper. You know, Bastila is going to beat just about everything except that team. You could beat it, but it is a struggle, and they're going to destroy you. So,
all right, we'll try the droid team against them. That was a request. We'll go old droids, right? Old droids, and we'll run. What is it? HK-47 lead with L3. I'll make sure she's Zated, Muhammad. She's definitely Zated. Zeta L3. He said that like 3 times. Muhammad, I got the Zeta on her, I promise. You want to see? There it is. Is that it? No, it's this one. Yes, there it is. So she's Zated. She's ready to roll. We're going to rock with... who should I throw on there with this team? We got to go 88, right? I'd say BB-8.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and
I mean, you have to.
I think this is it right here.
Probably IPD and L3. Okay, or BB-8, yeah. Well, yeah. You might... yeah.
You might want to get rid of...
You could almost take L3 out, because BB-8's could be tanking every turn for you. You know, because that Omega you give him, if all, you know, your allies are droids, he'll taunt at the beginning of his turn. So I think if you wanted to build a droid team, you need one or the other. I don't know if you need both.
It's not enough.
As we see here, it is nice to have a pre-taunt, because the droids outside of BB-8, they are slow. They are super slow until they go.
There's not enough damage. We want to get rid. Let's get rid of Rey here. Actually, no, I don't want to give anybody health yet. Oh, that did. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's just the problem is against this specific team. I mean, you're not fast enough. You almost have to use Jawa Engineer, like because the droids would put up.
Oh! Oh my goodness! Really? One shot? That's why I was trying to get rid of her, right? I was like, as soon as I get rid of Ray Scavenger, there's a chance, right? But, oh, man. Oh, man. If only Jawa Engineer was out here, he could revive a droid. Ah, Jawa Engineer, where art thou? Jawa Engineer.
Well, so can
Oh, that was bad.
so can she if she doesn't die first. But if she's the first one to go, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, I made sure L3 was Zayded Muhammad, and it really didn't do much for us. Hello from Austria. Hello. What's going on? Yes, Malia. That's why I wear tight jeans. Malia's in the chat. What's going on, buddy? You should jump into Discord and come on the stream. I want to hear Malia's soothing voice. Malia's a doctor that tells people the really horrible news. You know, so he's got like this very calming voice. He can just be like, "Listen, you're dying of cancer." Okay, and it's just like it's actually it's okay. Like, you know, because he's telling you the way he's telling you. Maybe I should Zeta L3. Yeah. Let's see. I think we have to, at this point, because of where we're at on the stream, we got to do the top. No. This is a PG stream, Malia. That's not appropriate. Okay. Cheeky's in the stream. What's going on, Cheeky Cutie? You got.
What's going on? That's Malia's real name, isn't it?
Yep.
Ah, sneaky little fella.
So if you guys want to go, you guys want to search out the former guild leader Alf at Wally B, just go look up Peter Soderlund, and you'll see what it's all about. Okay, so are we?
Good evening, Cheeky Cutie.
Good evening, Cheeky Cutie. At Peter Soderlund, Marvel Strike Force. I don't think he plays that game anymore.
No, he quit just in time before it got.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's
Cheeky.
Aggressive.
Cheeky, I remember 8 episodes ago, Cheeky, you were sitting right next to us in this chat. Episode 50 was great. Cheeky Cutie made a return. We got to get it back. And I want a Malia Bean top 10. I want a Malia Bean top 10. I want to return. I want the Malia Bean top 10. I want that done.
Yeah, the top 10's designed specifically to make people upset.
the Malia Bean top 10, and I want all the verbiage, so I want to read it, just like Malia Bean wrote it. Yes. All right, so we're going to do the meta report quick, right? Let's just get that done. Top 10 things I do now that I don't sink thousands of dollars into SWGOH. I think there's top 10 things you can think about in SWGOH. I think it's time for you to make a comeback, actually.
Yeah, make a comeback.
I think it's time for you to make a comeback. I think the first thing you should do, Malia, is you should buy about $1,200 worth of chromiums. That's the first thing you should do when you come back. Just get yourself a whole bunch of shard shop currency, and then just get rolling right off the bat. You know what I mean? Buy some ship packs. All right, let's
I'll just answer this one now. Yes, Muhammad. Alliance Pi and Phoenix are part of the Alliance. The same. Ramon is in Alpha, and I am in Xi. Just like a community of guilds, multiple guilds working together. So yes, not in the same guild as those guys, but same community.
Yeah, the Alliance has over 50 guilds, almost 60 guilds, and and there's all different types. There's the Alliance Pi, Alliance Phoenix, Alliance Alpha, Alliance Iota, which Cheeky Cutie is a part of, and there's the Alliance Fart Knockers, which is Malia Bean's guild now, where he just has a retired, there is a retirement guild. I think he's in. Are you in a guild, Malia? Master Kylo.
Yes, Wolfpack as well. We have a couple Wolfpackers in here. Team
Wolf,
Money and Smoke.
Team Money's in the Wolf Pack.
Cuzzo, pretty much. Yeah, Muhammad, apparently you might be the only person in the chat not in the Alliance. Iota, Cheeky Cutie, missing out, buddy.
There used to be a Jon Snow in beta, wasn't there? Jonathan Snow in beta?
No, no, I think Jon Snow. What? I think that's the Jon Snow from one of the Republic guilds.
No, I know. That's not that
Yeah.
Jon Snow, but I mean, there was a Jon Snow in beta. You're in TS Republic. Yes, yes, that would be the perfect place to go. Oh man, Alliance Omicron, baby, yeah, Gamma. We got a lot of Alliance guilds right here in the house right now, and that's what we're all about.
Takeover,
man.
baby.
It's a takeover. All right, so I'm gonna do the meta report now, okay? Because we're procrastinating on that, so we're gonna get right into it here. Top 10 leaders at rank 1, and oh man, do we have a little bit to discuss here because there are some changes here from last week. We actually do have the movement of Darth Treya into the top 4. Okay, so Darth Treya is now right behind Rey Jedi Training. So she continues to move up the list, and I think eventually will take over Palpatine. There's a lot of guys losing to Bastila, who's also on this list now, and made her way up to number 6 on this list now. So Bastila lead right now is number 6 in the game, and that's pretty hardcore. I think obviously Bastila is going to eventually take a back seat to Treya. But she'll definitely be continuing to move up as more people get her and gear her up, because I think there's some people that are realizing now that you can win with a 4-star or 3-star Bastila, and I see more and more Bastilas popping up in the arena every single day. So I think that'll continue to happen, and the more and more Bastilas, the more and more Treyas that we're seeing out there, Zeta Treya leader specifically, we're going to see less Emperor Palpatine. So Palpatine's on his way out, fellas. I got to tell you, even though he's still taking up a large part of this pie, I can see less and less Palpatines out there, and more Treyas, and more Bastilas in different combinations. Palpatine's still a good leader, but you can beat an Emperor Palpatine team pretty easily with a Bastila-led team at 3 stars or 4 stars. So that's why you're seeing him kind of fall out to the wayside. Rex is at number 10 now, behind Harrison Dula. Never thought that I would ever say that. But more people are running Harrison Dula lead in Arena right now at rank 1 than Rex.
Well, I mean, a lot of these, the Kylo Rens and the Heras, maybe even the Mother Talzins, those could be from early shards.
Look at the Vaders. Look at how many Vaders right behind Treya.
Again, I mean that's an early shard. You can buy Vader now. Like, I'm pretty sure day 1 that Vader pack's there for you to get him unlocked. So that's pretty tempting for anybody that plays a Star Wars game, right? Just have Darth Vader. $20, you get Darth Vader. It's pretty. All things considered in this game, it's a pretty fair deal. It used to take us a year to unlock him. Now you can just buy him immediately. So, I don't know. None of those leaders are really viable in-game high-level arenas. Maybe Vader. You see a little bit of Vader. Definitely not Hera. Definitely not Hera. No Kylo Ren. Rex at the very end is interesting. It's been a while. He'll be back. CLS, once the meta changes, he'll be back. He always is.
Rex will always be back. But CLS is seeing a resurgence too. I mean, there's definitely a lot more CLS now than there was. I mean, he's never really completely fallen out of the meta, but he fell down a few spots, and now he's back at number 2. Rey Jedi Training is kind of all but falling out of the limelight here. I think that she'll actually be taken over by Bastila pretty soon. Without a doubt, and continue to fall down the list here. I think Treya will surpass her. I think by the next meta report, we're going to be seeing Traya ahead of Rey Jedi Training. So Traya will be number 3 on this list next week, I think. So, I mean, they're literally within 31 of each other. So that's how close it is. But that's pretty interesting. I don't know what that was. I think we just got another either a donation or somebody subscribed. But either way, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for donating. Either way. But yeah, that's the top 10 leaders at rank 1. A lot of change. I think we'll see even more change next week. Like I said, I think we see Traya move up a little bit, and I think we see Bastila continue to move up a little bit as well. But moving along to the top 10 squad members at rank 1, not much change. Darth Traya is still there at 9. Grand Moff Tarkin, the Emperor Palpatine is number 1. We just see Thrawn is really still at the same spot. I mean, everything's kind of the same, so not really much to talk about here. But what I do kind of see happening is I think that again we're going to see less Palpatine, more Thrawn again as people start to use Traya lead. I think Traya will continue to move up the list, and we'll also see eventually. Possibly some Jedi pop in here. As more people use Bastila, I think we're going to see Grandmaster Yoda pop in here. I think we'll see, possibly General Kenobi make his way back onto this list.
Yeah, Kenobi will definitely be back.
Yeah, so Kenobi's fallen off the list, and he's on his way back, I think.
Get Tarkin off there. Get him out of it? What is that? Get him off there. Put Kenobi back.
For all you guys out there using Tarkin, just throw one hand up. All right.
Just stop with your noob moves. don't use Tarkin.
Tarkin's a secret weapon. You don't know about that. Tarkin.
Well, he's. I mean, you get him so early on a 4-star. He's like overpowered for like I don't know a day and a half, and you just get married to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
All right. That's the top 10 squad members at rank 1 and the meta report. We're going to move on now to our top 5 for this week. And what do we got for us, Maurice? We got top 5 raid characters, courtesy of good old Maurice, the Alliance, and Riemann. So I want to hear who we have at number 5, Maurice. Who's our number 5 raid character this week?
All right, number 5 is Death Trooper.
Ooh. Why do we pick Death Trooper to be the number 5 raid character in the game, Maurice?
Death Mark. That's the end. I mean, P3, these Chex Mix teams, P3 in general would be nearly impossible if it were not for Death Trooper. Sure, Han's great because you stand alone with him. CLS lead, Han counters, but all of that's made possible because of Death Mark. Arguably the best single ability versus the Sith raid, arguably. That's really it. It's just Death Mark is so important for P3. That's really all there is to it. And otherwise, you can use them on Trooper teams, other Empire teams. It all focuses on Death Mark, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that he's a key to that team, and also there has been talk, people have been afraid that they're going to nerf Death Mark at some point because of how effective it is. I think we're safe with Death Mark. And I know we had discussed last week possibly if there's going to be maybe another character that applies Death Mark, and I don't think so. I think that he will be the only one that applies Death Mark. I think that will kind of be his ability, at least for the foreseeable future. But who knows? They did originally only give Expose, I believe, to one character. Wasn't Poe the first character that had Expose?
Poe and Mace. Well, no, Mace Windu didn't get it till later, maybe. Yeah. I don't remember. But yeah, Poe was. Well, no, I think Poe had it, and Resistance Pilot had it. I can't remember if Trooper had it originally or not. It's been a while. They redid some of those Resistance a long time ago. I can't really remember what they did prior to it. Yeah. And Mace Windu might have been an addition as well to try to make him a little better with the random exposed chance that he never attacks anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But that's our number 5 raid character in the game. Moving along to our number 4 raid character in SWGOH, we have Visas Mar. So why do we have her here, Maurice?
Well, Visas Mara, her entire kit is revolved around, anti-Sith, and it's the Sith raid. We've seen the Grandmaster Yoda teams that are arguably better at putting up higher scores than the raid team or the Jedi training raid teams in P1. It's because of Visas. You mod her super slow, no speed, lots of offense. She counters, she assists, she heals. Just a fantastic character all around for the raid. Lots of teams, and we'll see a lot more creative teams come out as more. She's farmable now. She's hard node, so more and more people will be getting her soon and testing her out and experimenting. Because right now it's just a handful of players, and you guys, the game changers that have access to her. I'm not sure how popular she was as a marquee character because they released her right beside Scion, right? So I'm not sure how many people took that plunge, but
I think she got a lot of bad press coming out the gate, but she was kind of a sleeper, and now I have to say, I think she's one of the, I think she's one of the, I think she's one of the underrated players in this game. I gotta tell you, what I'm saying, I think she's got a lot of value not only in the raid but also in arena, and I think that there'll be more compositions. And as the Sith continue to kind of dominate the meta, you see more Treyas out there. I think you're going to see more Visas too, and it's. I made a video a few weeks back actually running a Grandmaster Yoda lead when his rework had first arrived, and put Visas in that squad, and we were able to take out this Trey-led team with pretty with relative ease, and can do that even better if you have better mods on the team. So I think that's yes. I mean, obviously her value in the raid is tremendous, being a specifically anti-Sith character. I mean, the reason she was released and created in the first place was to counter the Sith and be a great addition to that team. She was obviously behind a paywall, so not a lot of people have 7-star Visas yet, but a lot of people are on their way there and getting there very soon from farming her through hard nodes. So I think as that continues to happen and people start to pop up with more and more 7-star Visas, I think you'll see her become, one of the most important characters in that Sith raid, if not, the most important character.
Well, she's not a Jedi, but there's really so many good Jedi to go around, right? And you got your Basilisk and you got your Grandmaster Yoda team. Now, if you ever wanted to divide your Jedi up into 2 decent teams, you're going to need Visas probably, because there's just, what are you going to do? Throw in old school Ahsoka Tano and Anakin? No, thank you. No thanks.
No thanks.
But yeah.
Okay, that's our number 4 raid character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Our number 3, who do we have here, Maurice?
Wampa.
Oh yeah,
the king of P2. Just so much damage. Yes, the dots don't stick, and the Zeta is absolutely worthless. You don't need a Zeta for the Sith Triumph raid. We're talking about that specific raid. No Zetas needed. He is a little more difficult to gear, especially compared to some of these newer characters. He's only obtainable in the Guild Event Store, but both of those characters in that Guild Event Store should be your priority over any gear to start. Fantastic character, and because it's a raid, he has lots of opportunities to use his Furious Foe, keep stacking up his crit chance, keep stacking up his damage, all sorts of stuff. You don't really need to mod him with crit chance because of that. You mod him crit damage, pretty quick. Doesn't really need health protection, just damage. Just a great character. Does, especially if you put those like you have him displayed here, the 2 bayonets and the multi-tool on him. He does wicked damage. Pretty much, you can use him. A lot of people use him under a Boba Fett lead in P2. Some people, I use him under a GK lead, paired with, Thrawn, Hermit Yoda, and, who's my 5th? Sabine. You get that armor shred, and you just have Wampa going to town. Just, putting up 4 or 5 million damage. Some of these screenshots I've seen.
It could
the king of P2 again.
it could be a she Wampa. We never know. If we had
Um,
if we had another play to give event, we'd find out, just like we did about Resistance Pilot.
yeah,
You know,
surprise.
surprise! It's a female. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will find out one day. You know, but Wampa also has a lot of viability in the AAT raid in that Wampanator team, and is able to basically solo the raid. Am I correct?
That is correct. That is one where the Zeta comes into play. It just, especially if you have the Zeta, you could definitely auto P3 and P4. You know, P1 does take a little bit of finesse and management, but P2, you just, once you get about halfway through it, you got 7-8 turns left to a raid. You can hit auto and just done. Goes all the way through. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Wampa has a lot of viability in multiple raids, and basically gives you the ability to solo a raid that was once thought to be unsoloable in the past. And obviously you'd have to have the right composition around that. But overall, Wampa's got a ton of viability in all the raids, and that's due to the stacking bonuses, and also because Wampus is such a hard-hitting countering character. Obviously, when you're talking about stacking protection, and also counterattack, and be able to hit as hard as Wampa can hit throughout the course of the battle, the character just adds a ton of viability to any raid team, and not only in the Sith raid, but like I said, in the AAT and even the Rancor raid, you can use a Wampa to put a hurting on the raid boss. So that's our number 3 raid character in SWGOH. Moving along to our number 2 raid character in SWGOH. You know her, I know her. She's Rey Jedi Training. So,
Yep.
I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Rey Jedi Training is the Sith raid at the moment. But go ahead, Maurice. Tell me what you think.
Well, I don't. I think if it weren't for JTR, we would have just a handful of guilds. Prior to the Jedi reworks and additional characters, there'd be a handful of guilds that could beat this raid, because she is the answer to P1. And if you're not completing the heroic Sith, you're doing T5, T6, T4, whatever it is, you can use her for every phase. She's arguably one of the better teams for P2 still, but she's the best team for P1. Or the most, I don't know. Her and Grandmaster Yoda are coin flip now is the best, but an option for P1, very good for every other phase as well. You can use her P4, to take down Nihilus just to start. And a lot of guilds, when you first try the heroic Sith raid, you bring in your best teams just slowly for P1 until you get it, and then you save all the rest of your Jedi training raid teams for P4 for Nihilus again. So that's how important she is when guilds are like assigning who goes in and to save your specific team for this phase and this phase. Now, granted, what makes her so great also is the addition of BB-8, Resistance Trooper. I mean, it's the whole team comp, but she is the lead, and she is the most important piece. So basically, that whole entire team is number 2 to go along with her.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she basically is the answer, was the first answer for everybody in this new Sith raid, or the newest raid, the Sith raid, is Rey Jedi Training. When we first dove into the raid, that was the only team that I could think of that would be able to do any damage, and she, for a lot of people, was the only way to kind of dip their toe in there, in comparison to some other people that have larger rosters and can kind of just mash through some phases by just doing a little bit of damage. If you don't have a full maxed out Gear 12 roster, you're not going to be able to do a lot of damage in P4, but with a little bit of strategy and with a little bit of patience, with a Rey Jedi Training team, you can do a pretty good run. And that was really the first answer that we all found out to this raid. Obviously, since then, there's been a lot of other options that have come up, the Jedi, the Night Sisters, things like that, but when it all first started, it was Rey Jedi Training and the.
When the raid came out, you were not getting into a heroic Sith guild or a guild that's close to it without Rey. Like
Right.
the guild officer, whoever's in charge of recruiting, would review your roster, and the first thing they would go to is to see if you had Ray. If you didn't have Ray, you know you
No.
can't join because we need Rays to beat this raid.
Right.
Um, when admission into a guild is based on a group of characters, they're pretty important for the raid. So she made the list, obviously.
Agreed. And now our number one raid character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. He's short and he's got a lot of he's got a lot of force abilities, but he doesn't actually hit anyone. Hermit Yoda. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why Hermit Yoda? But I think it's because he escapes. Listen, he's the only character in the Sith raid that can leave the raid after a battle is done. Period. Okay, and he also, obviously has the ability to buff up the entire Jedi team, he's, I think, a key to that Grandmaster Yoda team in keeping them, able to, first of all, call in all those assists throughout the course of the battle with the Master's training buff, but also, obviously healing the team, and he's got a ton of viability in other raids as well. But let me hear your thoughts on why he's good in this raid, Maurice.
Well, the retreat, what you just mentioned on the retreat, is the sole reason he took one and not two. I mean, if you could go in there with that Grandmaster Yoda team, like you said in P1, and let's say you get your 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, how good your team is, and then Grandmaster Yoda escapes, you now have a P2 team. You can either use the Akbar lead. He's great with Akbar. Him and BB-8 both are great with Akbar because they don't have any. You don't ever use their physical attacks. I mean, Hermit doesn't have one, so every time you use it, they're like the I don't know what they call it, the machine gun Leia, the rock, whatever it is, where Leia just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and Hermit Yoda's heals every turn is basic. You put that Zeta on, he will heal protection. He gives Jedi foresight. Just adds so much survivability to any team you put him on. Just a great team. And of course, the assist moves. He gives the battle meditation. Is that what it is? What's the name of his?
It's Master's training.
Yeah, Master's training gives that buff, and then next thing you know, by turn 4, turn 5, all 4 characters have it, and every time he uses that move, he goes stealth, calls them all to assist. Just a great, and that's how you get Wampa going that way. Just under that GK lead, he's basically got 2 assists in his kit, where everyone like AOE assists. So he doesn't do any physical damage himself, but he generates massive amounts of damage for any team with a Akbar lead or a GK lead, and those are 2 of the main comps people are using for P2. So
He's a fantastic character all around. I mean, also a great character, in a Bastila team. Great character. If you're running a Bastila team in P2 of the Sith raid, we saw, some videos. I believe Arnold had a video of doing what was it, like 4 or 5 million in
yeah,
P2.
and that team is just I'll fool around with it once she's farmable. She's one of the rare exceptions in this game where you can use her at 3 and 4 stars and be effective in all the other game modes. Not the raid, obviously, unless you're doing T4 or T3. But
once you have a
one day,
once you have a Bastila at 7 stars, you'll be able to use Hermit Yoda in P1, P2, a lot of different phases. So Hermit Yoda is definitely, again, the only character that can escape this raid because nobody can except for him, and he's just a great all-around character. I mean, he heals the team, spreads buffs, calls an assist. He's definitely one of the best raid characters in the game. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why no Night Sisters? But we did think about them, and that's why Asajj Ventress is our honorable mention. So we didn't really want to place them anywhere specific. Asajj Ventress sort of represents a lot of the Night Sisters, but we didn't want to place them all in any specific spots because, again, we want to wait a little bit to see how this nerf pans out and if there's any adjustments made. Again, we're still in the weekend here. CG was they're usually not at the offices on Saturday and Sunday. So if they are going to make any more adjustments to the raid and to any of the mechanics that they've adjusted over the last couple of days, it's not going to happen until Monday or Tuesday of next week or this week. So, yeah, I think that right now they're kind of in a weird spot, but the Knights is still are a team to be reckoned with. I think in the raid, even after the nerf, and Asajj Ventress definitely has a place on this list for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's just in, very well. I mean, maybe these nerfs come out and they're still a dominant team, and maybe that she's justified to maybe get bumped up a slot or two. We'll see. I mean, just it hasn't happened long enough, and I think it's bugged right now. Like you're not healing at all when you get above 20 bonds. I think it's kind of bugged. I've only done one raid, and they go so quick. I don't have time to sit there and examine it and really, comb through all the mechanics and look at all the details. I'm just trying to get my scores in as quick as I can. So we'll see. A lot to see, and it might not be as bad as people think.
Yes.
You're not gonna be able to solo it like the 40 million, but you can still probably get 2 million plus in P4. I mean, if you're trying to do the raid for the first time, if everyone gets 2 million with their Night Sisters in P4, you're in good shape. That's enough. So
yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. But that's our number. Well, that's our top 5 raid characters in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, courtesy of Maurice and I and the Alliance. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you do, please leave a like on the video. But we're going to move on now to some more gameplay and our Q&A segment of the live show. So, coming back to Arena here, I'm going to take a look here in the chat and see if we have any more requests. If you guys...
I pulled a couple out here. One comes from McFly, asked a few times for Bastila, both the Yodas, Wampa, and Old Ben.
Okay, Bastila. Let me try the Jedi. So, also, if you guys have any questions that you'd like to have asked on the stream, now's the time.
I've got some. There's a bunch.
Now's the time. Any topics you want to discuss, now type them into the chat. Maurice will compile them up, and we'll try to get them discussed here on the stream or answered on the stream before the end of the
show. All right, Mr.
Was Wampa,
first question.
What was it? It was Wampa and who else?
Bastila, Yoda, Wampa, and Old Ben.
Old Ben, okay.
First question is from Mo Dingo. He says, do you think it's fair to expect more than old Daka Zeta back after the Night Sister zombie nerf? We kind of answered that, I guess, earlier.
Yeah.
They don't have to give us anything, right? You kind of hinted at that. They don't have to do anything. And I think if they give us that back, that's fair.
That's more than
there's really no way to refund the gear unless they just, they can give everybody that plays the game like 10K crystals. I don't think that's happening. But
no,
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. I mean, I think they could give you. I think they could give everybody in the game maybe a couple hundred crystals. That wouldn't hurt too. But that would just be kind of like one of those like customer support. Hey, here's, I mean, not like it's going to replace anything, but I mean, just a little. Hey, we. Sorry for the inconvenience, but here's 50 crystals, here's 100 crystals, here's a couple hundred crystals. That would be cool. That's always appreciated. An extra refresh for the day or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they don't have to do any of this stuff, and I just think it's very. I think it's a very stand-up thing that they're doing by just giving back the Zeta for old Daka. So I think that's all you can expect from that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me get. All right, this one's from Takedown Games.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, when do you think the T3 marquee event is coming for iOS users? Because I guess the Android had the marquee event at the same time as Mission and the Zalbar event. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, it's actually still going on right now. Unlike the T3 and the Zalbar, unlike the Zalbar event and the and the Mission Vow event, it's actually for 13 days or 14 days. You have the ability to do it. So I think I mean, I don't know. It could be a little while, but this has been the case for Android and Apple since the beginning. I mean, Android has always gotten a sort of heads up or an advantage on any droid characters in the game since the start. So, I mean, they have a droid pack for Samsung Galaxy owners that you get, when you first start the game, that gives you a free IG-88, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, this is different than the before they did the K2SO event, and I think you could get him 7-star, and iOS users had no access to him whatsoever.
That was completely
Turns out he
different, yeah.
wasn't arena changing at all, but I mean, still, that's a character. This is different. Apparently, Android users just get them early, right? And let's be real. Do you really have time to just have another 3-star character sit at the bottom of your roster? I don't think a week or two is going to kill anybody, right? So,
Yeah.
as long as we get him eventually at the same star level and shard count as Android users, I don't think it's the end of the world.
You're still not gonna do anything with him for 3 months until he's free anyway, right? So I mean, at least
just work on whatever you're working on. Don't get upset about it. I mean, because honestly, what are you going to complain about not having it? And then he just sits at level 1, 3-star on your roster for 3 months. It's just
anybody who is going to buy him, there is a way to get him. If you basically switch your account from Apple to iOS and then back to Apple again, there's a way to do that. But if you don't want to go through all that hassle, there's other things you could do, like if you're going to spend the money and get him to 7 stars, you're probably not gonna be missing that additional 30 shards anyway. You could probably just go ahead and, if you're going to spend, the way I look at it is, if you're going to spend $300 to get the 7-star character, or $400 to get the 7-star character, it would probably cost you like another $20 to get the extra shards that you're missing from the event.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want this character and you're an iOS user, and you want him and you're going to buy him, what you can do is look up on SWGOH's gear, right, and just have the gear ready. So when he comes out, and you got.
We lost you there, Maurice. You guys still hear me?
Yeah, I think cut out for a second.
Okay, the stream or just you? Just you. The stream okay? Okay. So the stream seems to be okay. I think we just lost Maurice there for a second. I'm sure he'll figure that out, and I'll be able to get him back on again. So, Maurice, are you still on Discord? Okay. So yeah, Maurice is having some technical difficulties, but he'll be back here in a moment, I'm sure. So I'm going to keep rocking on this team here. I don't think we're going to beat this Sith team here, though, unfortunately. Should probably just start working on Nihilus, even though it's not going to really do us any good. Ugh. It's actually not a bad squad at all. I mean, I think that's, if maybe I had done some different things, maybe I would have had a better chance at it. It's just so tough to beat a It's tough to beat a squad with. It's tough to beat the Treya squad with Sith Trooper. You know, it's just that Sith Trooper is such an annoying character. You can see Maurice's desktop. Let's hope Maurice comes back onto the screen. I can fix.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you, and you're back. There you go. You're good. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? You're muted, Maurice. You're muted. Unmute your mic.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right. Fantastic.
You sound
But that's all right.
you sound super deep.
Thank you. All right. Where were we? Questions?
Yes.
All right. So we answered the T3 one. Josue Garcia asked why didn't they test out Treya at 7-star against this raid when they released it?
I'm sure they did, but they're saying you're going Robo Remon on me. Yeah, you know I'm sure they did, but you know, there's no way, no matter how much testing that they do, that they can test every squad composition that's possible and every mechanic out there in the world. I mean, there's going to be loopholes that people find out just through testing that you're not going to be able to figure out. I mean, some of them are pretty. Some of them are pretty, pretty, I guess, simple to figure out, like not too complicated. But some of them are pretty in depth, and I mean involve a lot of different, thinking about and theory craft and mechanics. And when they figure out some of those squats, I mean, it's not always expected that the devs are going to be on top of that, from in advance. There's so many different variables to think about when you create a new character and how they're going to interact with all the other characters in this game, especially when you involve raid mechanics as well with that. It's definitely impossible to be prepared for all different scenarios. There's definitely going to be loopholes and things like that that come around, and when they do, and they're discovered, they're just going to have to make those adjustments over time. I have no problem with that. What's another? Do we have another request for a team?
Well, we did. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find one. But regarding, I mean, yes, I don't know. I mean, we basically did test it. We sold the raid instantly with it, so it got fixed quick. Very, very few people have 7-star Treya, and if you're doing the raid already, you're going to have 7-star Treya. It's not like a character that you have to go out of your way to farm and gear. She's arguably the best character overall in the entire game. You're going to gear her anyway, right? So it's not like you just invested in this character just to do a specific raid comp. Like it's a character you're going to have. Okay, yeah, we got one from Ryan Armstrong here. Bastila, Old Ben, Princess Leia, Fulcrum, and Chirrut.
Okay, Bastila, Old Ben, Fulcrum.
Yeah, Leia and Chirrut.
Okay.
He's on a newer shard. On these newer shards, I can only imagine how overpowered Bastila is on these brand new shards.
Oh, yeah,
like if you log into the game for the first time, play it for the first week, and Bastila happens to be the marquee character. Like I remember I started an alt when Nihilus came out, just to see in every single team in Arena for months that I played it was Nihilus. Didn't matter. Nihilus was in every single Arena team. I imagine Bastila's probably going to be the same.
It's a Bastila, Fulcrum, Old Ben, and Leia and Chirrut.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds so deep. It sounds like you ever take gas to make your voice sound deeper. You know what I'm talking about? Or like you talk. There's like a special gas you can take that makes your voice, or do a voice changer. You sound like it's like super deep voiced.
Yeah, when I got disconnected, I just pulled out the nitrous tank out of my closet.
I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sure. I can't find him. I'm just gonna go to Rebels here. What's the next question?
Commando. This comes from Commando. Is Gear 12 Jedi Ahsoka Tano any good with Bastila lead? If you mean Fulcrum, yes. If you mean old school Ahsoka the pilot, eh. You know, there are several better options out there. Just for the team, but
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
Fulcrum's amazing under Bastila. Fantastic. Lots and lots of damage. She's another one, like we talked about earlier, you're going to need an additional person, additional character if you ever want to make 2 Jedi teams. Fulcrum's one, Visas is one. Other options outside of Jedi. Just there's so many buffs. She naturally just, what a fit she is for this team.
She really is, yeah.
We have DSP. I have 68 Zeta mats and 59 purple mats.
68 Zetas and how many purples?
59 purple nats.
Okay.
Do what I am doing with my like. I don't know what that means, DSP. I copied the question actually without proofreading it first, so if you want to rephrase that, I'll ask it again. Smoke asks, either of you have Zeta Visas, and is it worth Zetaing her? Is she useful outside of Heroic Sith Triumphant Raid P1?
I don't have her Zated on my main account yet because I don't have her 7 stars yet. I have her still at 5 stars. I'm still working her up, getting her shards. But when I do have her 6 stars, I'll probably Zeta her because I think yes, there's definitely a value there, and it's not just a Sith raid. I think she's great for.
I think so. I think it maybe not the Zeta. But she's definitely worth investing the gear in. I mean, I'm working on her. She's gear 11. I've got her at 6 stars, slowly getting her 7. You know, it'll take me another, month probably to finish her. I just need those pieces and take her right to gear 12. You know, play around with her, see if she fits what I'm trying to do before I put the Omegas and the Zetas on her. DSP answered, he says, he has 68 Zeta mats and 59 purple mats. What is he doing with his life? Well, what you're doing with your life is you're overspending on your Omegas. If you don't, 59 purple mats, it's fantastic and all. But you need Omegas. Excuse me. Yeah. The Zeta mats are kind of worthless without the Omega mats to go with them, which is the block a lot of people are having. That's the hump no one can get over. People can get the Zetas, but they can't keep up with the Omegas. I think that's kind of the point. You know, they're giving us more characters, good characters, easier to gear characters, but at the same, I mean, there's got to be, you know, a funnel somewhere, and it's going to be the Omega mats to get these characters done. Because a lot of these characters, I mean, look at some of these new characters, the abilities they get just for their Omegas, I mean, are incredible. It completely changes the whole dynamic of the skill mechanic, you know, altogether. So it's a big decisions you have to make. You have to be smart with your Omegas.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Let's see. Muhammad Khalid asks, anyone going all out on Zalbar?
Not me.
I will be taking him. He's on my favorites list. I'm going to take him all the way up to gear 11. Kind of fool around with him. If he's decent, you know, I may take him to 4-star, but I'm not going to buy the marquee packs or anything. I think he's going to be a great character, especially for TW. Just an all-around tank that can fit on any team. You know, the armor shredding with Sabine combo is interesting. Any sort of dot team is interesting. 3-turn taunt is amazing, right? I mean, that's where it's at. 3-turn taunt is pretty incredible. AoE 3-turn taunt. So mission, we'll see, but I think he's definitely the best out of these new characters. Well, not Bastila, but yeah, I think he's the best besides Bastila. Well, let's see. That's all the questions I actually have. I might have missed some when I got disconnected here. I'll scroll back up and look. Master Kylo is asking for Basila, Old Ben, Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra.
Good night, Cuzzo. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
See, man. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rex Lead is still good. Absolutely. I think let's do a Rex team just against the droids here to kind of show the benefit of Rex because with all the area of effects, I mean Rex should be able to. Let me see here.
I think Kira Lead, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm gonna start experimenting around with some of these scoundrels. Kira, Nest, and like 88 or Boba is very, very interesting because you lead, right? You lead with Nest, and you remove turn meter and daze them all. So they can't counter, and they've lost turn meter, giving your whole team basically a turn. And then you follow up with Kira, who then dispel, if there's a Sith Trooper, you dispel the Sith Trooper. At the same time, you do an AoE stagger. And then you follow up with 88 or Boba Fett, and all of a sudden you basically get to take 2 turns, and you're facing an entire team that is dazed and ability blocked, and if you have the Zeta on 88, target locked, and they cannot heal. So right out of the gate, you've just severely crippled the opposing team. I mean, with 3 AoEs, right? Everyone's scared of AoEs because of all the counters, but with Ness, she's so fast, she's easy to make. I mean, not easy, but you can make it to where she goes first, just dazes the whole team. Put a little extra potency on her. It's not going to work against Basila, and we'll see against Traya. I don't think so. I mean, I got a lot of development and gear to do in it, but it's interesting. I think Kira is going to be kind of a sleeper, and a lot of people are going to realize her utility once, you know, she's available to farm.
I agree.
Now, for those other Han Solo characters, I don't know. I like L3. I really don't know much about Lando and the Vander Chewie. I haven't really used them at all outside of the Marquee event. Han, we did that stream where we used Han. He was just crushing souls with all the speed and the damage.
He was. That was a lot of fun. I think there's definitely something to that, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's. That was a lot of fun, just playing around with him. I mean, you know, again, that was a Rancor raid, which, I mean, we can beat with like a, you know, with a lot of different squads now. But, I mean, I still think that, there's something to his kit that, will make him a very interesting raid character. As more people get him 7 stars, I think we'll see, you know, some more young Han Solo for sure in the raids. But I mean, we're taking care of this droid team here. Using Big Z and Mission Val.
Yeah, but this isn't exactly like the best stage to show a team versus the droids.
No. Yes, Mission Val and Big Z win.
Well, this is good info though, not only to showcase the new characters, but to also show the opposing droid team that some people might be considering. You can see they're not very good. You know, like
not very good on defense.
I mean, you just beat them with 5 characters that you're probably not super familiar with to begin with, and I'm sure they're not modded to flow together. You know, you just went in there and pretty much destroyed the droid team with them. So.
Yeah, I mean, this team's going to get destroyed by Raid Jedi training. I mean, this is just like a massacre here. Let's do the AoE.
I mean, I'm pretty excited. Mission might turn out to be a pretty decent character too. It's just, I mean, the coolest part of her kit is just instantly dispelled against Traya, and that's just a turnoff. Unfortunately, the brand new mechanic that is easily countered by the current meta. You know, it does nothing against the current meta whatsoever, which is unfortunate.
Right.
Very similar with Basila too. Like, great team can beat anything that's not, you know, Traya. Let's see what I got going on here. Okay, but the cool thing about Zalbar that we haven't really talked about, anytime a character falls below 100% health, he taunts, right? Every single time for 2 turns. He also has crit avoidance and stacking defense. So that's pretty cool. Like, much like Kenobi, whenever they get crit hit, he taunts. Anytime anybody falls below 100% health, Zalbar taunts, which is going to be a nightmare to try to kill anybody with like 1,000. Even like a Sith Trooper or Sith Assassin, both of those characters go straight for health pools. So he'll be taunting. Like as soon as Sith Trooper finally takes a turn and he AoEs, he's going to suck all the health down. And all of a sudden Z just taunts. And there's, unless you got a buff block, there's no way to stop it. And with Retribution, and when he counters, he drops 2 dots. So that's pretty impressive. Even if the dots get dispelled, if they don't, I mean, that's just extra damage. He has very, very low physical damage. I don't know how that translates to actual damage in game, but just his character stats, very, very low. And Mission shares this with him anytime, like at the beginning of the turn, for every opposing dot on the team, they get 10% protection regen. So he's going to be extremely difficult to kill. Protection regen, stacking defense, crit avoidance. He's going to be a pain. I'm really pumped about this character. Really, really pumped.
I really like the new droid.
Yeah, and like I was super excited about the droid. When a new droid, because I've been working on him for a long time. But Zalbar kind of stole the show for me. Let's see.
I'm actually going to make a video about the new droid.
JTR can beat Traya. Yes, she can. Everyone's talking about Magma Trooper. I don't really see too many more questions. If I missed them when I disconnected, guys, I apologize. But yeah, I think that's about it for the questions I see.
Well, we're getting to that point of the night now where we're going to wrap it up anyway. So this will probably be the end of that after this match. If you guys have any more questions you want asked right now, you can throw it into the chat and we'll answer it before we call it a night. Yeah, basically, what I'm taking from these new characters so far is that I think there's a place for them all. I think Mission Vow and Big Z, you're right, will probably be a lot better when there is a leader for. Let me see. Can I take out? Yes. Oh, of course he was in. Doesn't matter. I think there's a place for these characters. I just think that we haven't figured it out yet because, again, I mean, I've tried out lots of different ways to use Mission Vow and Big Z and haven't really found much success other than with a Kira lead being probably the best so far. But obviously, I mean, you could throw them behind like a Rex lead and get something done too there. It's a little bit more of a hodgepodge type team. I have had a lot of fun with the droid in a droid squad and with Rey Jedi training, and I think there's some more value there. Honestly, of all the 3 characters in the game, I have to say that I think the droid is bringing the most value at the moment, but that could obviously change over the next couple of weeks, couple months, depending on what other characters and abilities they add to the game.
I think if we get a Separatist rework with a Grievous and IG-100 B2 maybe rework, I think both of these new droids are really, really going to shine and be just fantastic, even better than they are now.
Yep. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Oh wait, when is the Sith meta going to be over? Never. DSP, yeah, I have to say, I think that we're definitely not close to the end of the Sith meta. People are just starting to get their Treyas now. I think that's pretty much the deal. I think that we're going to be looking at a Sith meta. They have created teams that are just good enough to beat the Sith meta, but we're still not even facing the true Sith meta. Like, once you're facing, like, 7-star, Gear 12 Plus, double Zeta Traya lead with Sith Trooper and all that stuff in Arena, it's going to be tough to get past those teams. Some people with 7-star Nest as like a 5th character on that team, with Sith Trooper and the Triumvirate. That team, I got to tell you, is bananas bonkers. There's not much you can do against that team. But I'll tell you that whenever the day comes that we're seeing that team like crazy in Arena, it'll dominate for probably a few more months. I think by the end of this year, we'll see a shift in the meta onto something new, and they'll control it. Like I said in many other streams, they are in full control of this meta at the moment, and that's really the main thing, is that now they're so good at creating new characters and creating ways to kind of control which way or which direction the meta is going to go in, which they weren't so good at a few years ago. So now, I mean, they can throw a Rey Jedi training out there and know that she is going to be the meta for the next couple months. They can throw a CLS out there and know that CLS is going to be the meta for the next few months. And they can throw a Scion out there and a Darth Traya and know that that's going to dominate. A while back that wasn't the case. Raid Han came out, was the first Raid character. He was not good. Okay, he was not. He was the hardest character to get in the game, or one of the hardest characters to get in the game. But he was not worth all the time and investment. They eventually fixed that, but they have different people behind the scenes now that are in charge of that stuff, and they do a lot more testing, and they're a lot more in control of the mechanics now, and the mechanics are also a lot more complex than they were back then. So, yes, I think that they have a plan for the meta, and I think the next meta might have something to do with these KOTOR characters, or at least maybe the characters that come from these KOTOR characters. So, we'll see which way that goes. I think, yes, if we see a Revan in the game, he will absolutely be meta, and he'll probably overtake the Sith meta at that point, if it's not another character, if it's not, maybe like Return of the Jedi Luke first or something like that. We'll see. But, yeah, the Eternal Twins, that'd be great. Yes, guys, check out the Discord. Again, there's a link in the description of the stream, and Maurice just posted in the chat. Definitely come over to my Discord to come, chat with us there. I'm actually going to pop in there in the voice after this stream for a few minutes. I think Maurice is going to head to bed, but I'll be in there for a little bit to chat if anybody wants to join me. Otherwise, we could talk about anything you guys want there. But otherwise, it's definitely been fun. I appreciate everybody hanging out and checking out the stream with us tonight. We'll be back again next Sunday night with some more live-action gameplay, and I'll be testing out these characters a little bit more. Maybe I'll have a better team that I can put together with Mission Vow and Big Z. If any of you guys have any good suggestions, you can also hit me up on the Discord and talk about it there. Also go to www.thealliancegaming.com to check out some other content creators from the Alliance, and check out Team Money's channel and good old Maurice's channel, Operation Metaverse. They're going to be doing a live stream, I believe, next week on Tuesday. So you guys should definitely go check that out. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. But, guys, we'll see you next week. I'll have another video probably out tomorrow for you. I have one out right now where it shows kind of the resistance against Traya teams. You should check that out. But may the Force be with you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.